What's up, guys? Today we have a very special video. Now you're probably asking, is it Tarkov related? Is it gaming related? Is it IRL related? It's ROG related. Today we are going to be looking at the ROG Ally. I managed to pick mine up about 2 weeks ago, and I've been loving it ever since. So I'm going to give you guys a rundown, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and basically a Linus Tech Tips type video from your boy, genooo. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the review. Peace. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. I fucking love this thing. All right, sorry about the language, but I genuinely enjoy this thing, and it is exactly what I expected when I bought it. Now, I do apologize when the camera autofocuses to the screen. It will make my face look a little weird. It's just the autofocusing on the new camera I got, so I do apologize about that. However, I'm going to go over one by one what this thing is, what it does, how it works. Everything that you need to know is going to be in this video. And if you have any other questions, please put it in the comments below. So starting off, the ROG Ally. All right, it is made by Republic of Gamers, ROG, and it is a Steam Deck competitor. So if you guys know Steam Deck, it is a competitor of that. It is the entire purpose is to compete with it and provide handheld gaming at the ease of travel and, waking. If you just want to wake up and play some games, you can do that. This is absolutely wonderful. Now, it is more expensive than the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck retails for like $399 to $499, I believe, with the two editions. This is actually $700 at retail, $699 if you want to be technical. And then plus tax and everything, I got the handheld case, which I'm going to show you here in a bit. And then I also got, it comes with a charger and everything, and it retailed for about like $820-ish. And that includes shipping. So it is fairly expensive. However, I'm going to explain why this is better than the Steam Deck in regards to the components and the specs right now. Now, I will say the ROG Ally at first, it does come off a little pricey, but the reason that it is so pricey is because what's in it. I'm not the biggest spec guy. I don't look at specs as much as I probably should. I'm going to put them on the screen here for you to enjoy. If you are technical or if you have any questions about it, you can put it in the comments below, or you can probably go to another guide. This is running a pretty good CPU from what I've seen. It does have 16 gigs of RAM, which I love. And the one main thing that I really, really enjoy about this is how it works. And I'm going to explain that right now. But before I get to that, I do want to say that from a price standpoint, this is worth it. From what I have gotten from it, I will say the $700 is well spent to me. This is not sponsored. This is not an ad. I have genuinely been having a great time with it, and I genuinely believe that it is worth the price. But let's get into the specs. Now, starting off, I didn't really mention what this device has. And I want to start off and say that it runs off of Windows 11. Some of you guys are concerned about Windows 11. I haven't had any issues with it. I don't have it on my PC, but this, perfectly fine. Everything has been clean. Nothing has been bad. I think people are just afraid of change. It's definitely a change. But it runs off of Windows 11, and it features a 125 or 120. I don't know which one. I'll make sure to correct myself next time. 120 hertz screen. And it runs off of 1080p. Now, for a handheld, that doesn't really matter too much. The Steam Deck has 720. It doesn't really matter with this size of screen. However, when I'm watching late-night YouTube videos, I really enjoy the 1080p aspect that I can see it in better quality. Just me. It is really, really nice in regards to how smooth it is. I haven't noticed anything bad in regards to going from one program to the other. You can see up here that there's an Armory Crate button. This is the Armory Crate where you can play all your games. This is where this thing up top is for like games, like the main menu in games. So that's really nice. You have two buttons over here. This one actually sends you to the command center where you can change your hertz, your FPS, your operating mode, which we'll get into in a bit. And then this top one, it just sends you to your game library. So that's really cool. It just sends you to all the games that you have. And then getting to the actual thing itself, you have two joysticks one right here, one right here. The LEDs are synced, so it's really cool actually looking at night when you're in your bed playing or whatever you want to do. You have the triggers, and then you have the top whatever paddle you want to say, and then you have the two paddles in the back. I haven't really used these, which I'll get it down later in the video. You have a D-pad, normal stuff. You have your A, B, X, Y up here. Other than that, you have ports. You have your audio port if you want to plug in the headset. I'm going to be honest. I think this is like a microchip reader. I don't know what that is. And then you have other things. I think these are for like plugging in like specific things to maybe get an emulator or I'm going to be honest. I have no clue. I haven't used them. Then you have the audio buttons up top. And then you have the power button. And then you have two lights here. One indicates that it is on. It's on. So the light's on. And then the other one indicates the battery. So you guys can't see that now, but when it's charging, it will glow. It will glow orange. And then when it's done charging, it will glow green. So that's the system. It's really nice. Super easy to use for the most part. Like I said, like I get to in later in this video, you'll see that I actually can open up Task Manager, end all my screens. I can go to Windows. I can go to Discord if I wanted. I can go to Xbox. I can play anything that I want on this thing, and that's what I love about it. So some of the stuff I'm going to show you about the Ally can't be recorded from this camera, so I do apologize about that. So we're going to go upstairs, and I'm going to show you guys what my favorite part about this is. Now, my favorite part about this is the turbo mode, and I'm sure you're wondering what that is. If you are a traveler, this might not be the greatest mode for you in regards to power and battery, but the turbo mode is essentially, if you don't know how these machines work, the Steam Deck and the Ally here run off of a default usage of 15 watts. Now, that's what they run at normal, lengths. I think it's comparative to like an iPhone or an Android. It's something along those lines. It does have the same amount of watts as the Steam Deck, but the turbo mode is what really pushed me onto this device. And that is when it is plugged in or you have a full charge, you can use this mode. But turbo mode is essentially, it goes from 15 watts to 30 watts. Now, you'll notice that games that, you run fine with the regular mode, the turbo mode blows it out of the water. Like, from what I've seen online, it takes the Steam Deck frames and it like doubles it. It's crazy. I was playing Skyrim on here the other day. I was playing Horizon Zero Dawn on this at medium graphics with 60 frames per second. Now that is crazy for a $700 handheld. It does get a little hot. Some of these games are a little taxing on the system, I'm sure. So the top ports here, they do spew out some pretty hot air, but where your fingers are and where you're going to be holding it, you will not feel an ounce of that unless you're purposely, going up here with your hands. I will say it does get hot. That is the one con that I can think of right now. Now, speaking about cons, I want to get into the pros and cons of this device so you guys know what you kind of are getting into. If I'm being honest with you, the ROG Ally has a laundry list of pros that I can tell. Now, I will admit, I'm not Linus Tech Tips. I don't have all the technology to my availability. I don't have a Steam Deck to compare it to. I don't have a Nintendo Switch to compare it to. But one of the things that I like about this is that you can play everything on it. It has Xbox. It has Steam. It runs off of Windows 11. And that is one thing that a lot of people do not understand, how powerful you can get this machine. You can run Discord on it. You can run everything that you run on your computer on this thing. Now, the Steam Deck, I heard you need an emulator, which this you do need an emulator for some games. However, majority of the time, you're not going to need any emulator. You have the Xbox app, and you get 3 months of it for free. You have Steam, where you can just log into your Steam account. You can get Nintendo easily on here, Battle.net, Battlestate if you want to play some Tarkov. You have a wide variety of games that you can play on here for, ease of a time to get into that game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can download these games that you want to play really, really easily. You can play Nintendo games, Xbox games, Steam games, PS4 games, PS2 games, PS3. Everything that you want, you can play on this thing. And it is probably one of the coolest things that I've ever experienced. Like, literally within the reach of my hands. It's just, it's so cool. I don't even know. I can't tell you how happy this thing makes me. I love going to bed at night. And, you know, I'll be honest, I tell my friends in Discord, I'm like, hey, I'll be going to bed. I'm going to bed early tonight. I'm going to bed early? Man, who do you think you are, man? I take this thing upstairs and I play Skyrim for an hour. Or one of my favorites right now is City Skylines. I just love it so much. I genuinely cannot tell you how excited this thing has made me. And I took it to a 4th of July party the other day. While, you know, everybody else was talking, I kind of went in the back room. I played on this thing, and it was an absolute blast. It does need internet for most of the games. However, I used my phone hotspot. I'm sure some of you guys have access to that. You can use your phone hotspot, and it works literally perfectly besides maybe downloading the games. Running the games, perfectly fine. I played all sorts of games. I played BattleBit at my grandmother's house. Now, I don't know about you, but that was an absolute blast. I'm telling you right now, this thing is 100% worth the pros. So good. However, I do want to talk about the cons of the system. Now, not like the pros, the cons are a little less. Now, I don't know if it's because I only have had it for 2 weeks. I've heard a lot of things, bad things that have happened with this thing. There's some memory leakage issues. There's some hard drive issues. People have had to send theirs back. And overall, I've heard a lot of people returning theirs. Do I see that happening for me? Well, I can't, but I wouldn't even if I could. This thing has been an absolute blast the entire time, but I will say there are a few faults with it. There are some times that the screen freezes up and the entire thing shuts down on me. It has happened mid-game to where I couldn't save, so that really sucked. However, I figured it was just something that it needed a reboot. It did an update. It was good to go. That's another thing. There are a lot of updates on this thing when you set it up. I'm telling you, I went through probably 2 hours of updates setting this thing up before I could actually play a game. Now, is that bad? I wouldn't say so. It's just updating Windows and everything. Since it does run off of Windows and stuff like that, it was probably just updating Windows. Another thing is when I've been out in the gym sometimes, before I head into the gym, I sometimes play some games, let my pre-workout get situated. And I will say there have been a few times where it needs to be plugged in for it to finish an update, which I guess I understand. It probably needs more power or something to finish this update. And I couldn't play at all that day besides if I plugged it in. Now, is that a big issue? That would be up to you to decide. I wasn't really worried about it. I just hopped back on my phone. There are a few things in regards to the heating. When you are playing very extensive games, the heat that comes out up top here is very hot. All right? If you hold your finger there for a few seconds, it will hurt. Now, is it burning hurt? No, but it gets hot. I have noticed that the back also gets hot. Right down here especially. It gets really, really hot down here, which is completely fine because my hands are out of the way. It just, the temperature on it gets really, really hot sometimes, and I'm worried that it's going to blow up in my hands one of these days, but I'm assuming they did their testing there that won't happen. It does get really, really hot, and that is definitely one of the big cons that I have towards this thing. But I don't know other handhelds, so that con, it could be happening with the Steam Deck. I don't know. I've never had a handheld device like this, so the temperature does get up there. Another thing is the audio. Now, hold on. Before you come at me and say, oh, well, Gino, it's a handheld. The audio's not going to be great. It's definitely not great. It's good. It's not great. The audio, from what I understand, comes out of these things right here. One here, and then there is one in the back, I believe. So the surround sound sounds pretty good. However, in story games, sometimes I can hardly hear the other characters when they're talking to me if they're at a certain distance or whatever. The audio is really good. in regards to playing like a 2D game like Terraria or, you know, I don't know, Animal Crossing or something that you want to play. I'm sure the audio is great on there. However, I can't say when I was playing Horizon Zero Dawn that the audio was the greatest. That is definitely a con of mine. Now, I do know that you can plug in an audio port right here. There is one right there that you can plug in. And then if you wanted to plug in a headset or ear whatever you call them, man, ear pods, whatever you want to call them, you can do that through that port up there. Now, I do believe this has Bluetooth. I could be very wrong. I do believe this has Bluetooth. If you want to connect like AirPods to it, I think you could. But the audio is definitely a con of this device, and I will definitely sit here and say that. In regards to other cons, one thing I definitely noticed is these back panels. For like no games that I've played do these have any use. The one thing that I will say this has a use for, let me log in real quick. You know, I don't want you guys to see my name. That's a little private, right? But when I log in, if you hold the back one, so automatically the armory crate comes up. It's where you can play all your games and stuff. It's Asus's program. You can hold the back button and then hit this down arrow, and it comes up with the task manager easier. If you want to hold down the back button and then do this, you can come up with all your tabs and stuff. Like if you're, you know, scrolling Chrome and going back to YouTube and editing, you can do that. And then this one just sends you back to the Windows 11 screen. Then the top one, I don't think it actually does anything when you hold the back button. Now, this back button, I've never used once. So I have no clue what that's all about. But I will say, I've never had a handheld, like I said, like 8 times already. It definitely is not the most comfortable to hold in regards to these back buttons. Like, I never know if I should grip them like this or let my hands freely run out like that. I never know how to grip it. The Steam Deck, I heard, is very, like, easy to hold. This is a little rough because of these back buttons, but I don't mind it because I can bind it to a bunch of other keys, and I can play, you know, MMOs with, you know, these back buttons. I have more accessibility, so I do like that, but I don't like the placement of them. That is my con for this this device. And other than that, I don't think I can think anything. Realistically, the ROG Ally has been great to me so far. It's done exactly what I wanted to do, you know, whether it play games or you know, scroll the internet or, you know, hop on YouTube and watch videos late at night. It's really nice. And the fact that it has a 1080p screen, everything looks good on it. And I genuinely enjoy my time when I'm using this. I 100% recommend it. It is a little pricey, but I hope the pros and cons can kind of help your decision. Now, getting to the end of the video, I just want to say, again, I love this thing. I want to go over like a little section. Is it worth to buy? Now, I want to get up close and personal to you. Okay. Is this thing worth buying? I think yes. If you are an avid traveler and you're going around and you travel a lot, you're in the military or police officer, or you're doing all these things with your life that I'm not, I genuinely believe that this is a good purchase. The battery on it, I heard, for travelers isn't the greatest. If you're on a plane, expect it to last like 3 hours, which isn't bad, but I heard the Steam Deck does better. There is a low power mode, but other than that, I love it. Is it worth it for me? Yes, because at night, I've always wanted to lay down and play a video game without having to be at my computer where I work, you know, having to type a bunch of things to get to the game. This is super easy. Plug it in. Play games, play Skyrim at night. It is perfect for me in the use that I use it for, and that is why I'm going to say that it's worth to buy. Now, if you're a little hesitant, go watch some other YouTube videos, reviews of this. I'm not the greatest reviewer. In fact, this is probably the first product review I've ever had, and take it with a grain of salt, okay? I love it. From me to you, I love it. I've had viewers that love it. People have returned it, though. But I have viewers that love it. It's overall a great product. I really enjoy it, and I genuinely do think that my purchase was worth it. If you're afraid of spending $700, I fully understand, but I do believe at the end of the day, it is worth it. Truthfully. Now, I just wanted to go over this real quick. I bought the case here. It is a very nice case. It's It says Republic of Gamers on the side, and I just really like that. The case is really nice. It actually, I don't know if you guys can see this, but you put this here, and then you put this over top, and then you zip it up. And it's just so clean, man. It protects the screen. And then also, one thing that I really liked about this case, which is why I bought it, you can actually zip it like this, and then it becomes, well, I kind of messed it up there. Then it becomes a little station for your Steam, or for your Steam Deck. For your Ally, you can put it here, and it will hold it, and you can play at the airport or wherever you're at. It's a great travel case. I fully recommend it, and it was a good purchase. Now, that is going to be the end of the video. I thank you guys so much that you guys allow me to share the Ally with you guys. I genuinely had a blast making this video, and I hope that you guys had a blast enjoying it. I recommend it. It's a great thing. It's been a lot of fun to play games at night and stuff like that. And I hope if you get your hands on one, you enjoy it too. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.